everyone, so today's video is going to be another kind of brand focused video, and what I'm trying to do with these videos really is just kind of showcase different brands to you, because I find that a lot of times, especially people that are starting out in makeup, you don't necessarily know what's considered a good brand and what's not, and it kind of can save you time, it can save you money as well, to kind of watch little reviews and kind of see what that brand has to offer, and then you can kind of compile a mental shopping list in your head of things that you might be interested in and that you think would kind of work for you in terms of what you're looking for. So by the title of this video you'll know that today's brand is Revlon, and Revlon is one of my absolute favourite drugstore brands. It's one of those brands that rarely does a dud product, for me at least. I love the colour selection, I think they're quite kind of fashion forward, and it's also a brand that's got a lot of history. If you kind of look up the really iconic adverts of kind of Revlon from years and years ago, they're all kind of these really beautiful, glamorous, vintage looking women, and I really love those kinds of images as well. Kind of like the kind of retro prints and that kind of thing that you see on coasters and that type of thing. Old Revlon adverts kind of look like that, and they have a lot of products that are kind of still around today that were around back then, and I just think it's kind of a brand that's got a lovely history and a certain kind of elegance to it. I love the faces that they use, and that they've kind of got quite a lot of variety in terms of the kind of faces they choose to represent the brand, and it's just a brand that I enjoy a lot of their products. So what I'm going to do for you today is kind of give you a little overview of different products I've tried from them and my thoughts on them. So first of all, I'm going to start with a primer. I've only ever tried this primer once, and I will admit this isn't one of my favourite products. I find it's a nice primer if you're going to use it on its own, not kind of layered during the day. So I like this primer in the evening, but during the day it kind of crumbles, and it's the Revlon Photoready Perfecting Primer. During the day, if you use it kind of under moisturiser and sunscreen and that type of thing, it crumbles a little bit. But if you're wearing it like I am today, kind of just on its own, it does really kind of refine the texture of your skin and make your pores appear smaller, and it's not got a silicone feeling to it, which is a very important thing to know if you don't like that. If you like the kind of creamy feeling types of products, you will enjoy this because it is very kind of creamy and it hasn't got that kind of grip to it, but an unusual product for sure. Then I'm going to go into foundations, and I'm going to kind of do the most obvious choice first, because let's face it, everybody knows about this. On YouTube especially, I feel it's kind of achieved cult status, but I know that it's a foundation that a lot of women wear day to day, and it's the ever dependable Revlon Colorstay. Now this comes in two varieties. There's one for oily skin and one for dry skin. I have the one here for combination oily skin in the shade True Beige, which is a tiny bit too dark for me. When I haven't got a tan like now. When I have got a tan, then this is fine, and I am wearing it on my skin right now, and as you can see, it's quite full coverage. It's a very pretty, very kind of perfecting foundation, but I always have felt this. I don't like the packaging of it because it's quite a thick foundation, because it offers quite good coverage, and it has this little kind of just kind of hole where it's supposed to come out of. Because it's quite thick, it's difficult to get it out. You end up having to kind of shake it and pick it out, and it's just not the easiest thing. I wish to God it came with a pump, or just sort of, I don't know, just a nicer packaging, but it's not the end of the world. It's just unfortunate with this type of product. And there's another product that they do in a minute that they tend to kind of favour this type of packaging, but I'll explain why it's not an issue with the other one. But it has an SPF of 15, nice dependable foundation, looks good kind of on most skin types, and it offers really nice coverage, and it's not too cakey depending on how you apply it. It has got the potential to be cakey applied incorrectly. You need to really work it into the skin, and you need to kind of really have well moisturised skin before you apply it, and if you do it that way, then you'll be fine. It's not too difficult to get a nice flawless application. I used the Real Techniques buffing brush today and then went over it with the complexion sponge, and it looks really nice and not too much. Then another one of my all-time favourite foundations from them is the Nearly Naked. I've done a full video review of this, so I'll link that down below. But this is in the shade Natural Beige. This is completely different to Revlon Colorstay. It's not supposed to be long lasting. It's supposed to kind of be quite a sheer foundation. Again, it has one of those annoying lids, but because this is quite a liquid formula, it's not difficult to get out, so I don't mind it as much with this. But it's a very pretty, breathable foundation, kind of looks nice, doesn't cover everything. You definitely need to go in with some concealer, but it's a very good skin day foundation. Then talking about concealer, I have got one here and I haven't been able to give this a good test, to be honest, because the shade's a little bit dark. But this is the Revlon Colorstay concealer, and I got my friend to try this because she has got significantly darker skin to me, and she said that it was really, really good. She said that she felt like the kind of formula was a little bit too wet and that it needed to dry out a little bit, and you can kind of see it's quite a wet formula, but the texture of it's really lovely. I did try it, but it was just a little bit too dark for me because it's very kind of yellow toned, but a very, very long lasting concealer as well, was what she said. And then I have got a kind of unusual product here, and this is something that I've been wanting to try for a really long time. And I do buy a lot of Revlon products, hence why I've got quite a lot of things, but Revlon did send me a bunch of stuff to try out for this video as well. And this was one of them. And this is the Revlon Photoready Skin Lights Face Illuminator in Bare Light. Now, I have had the old version of this years and years and years ago. I got it in some random discount store when I was first getting into makeup, and I love that really dewy skin look, and I could not for the life of me managed to achieve that look on myself. I just always looked kind of greasy, and I bought one that was kind of the wrong tone for me, and it came in kind of a tube. And I remember I'd read an article with Charlotte Tilbury in Elle magazine, and she was talking about the Revlon Skin Lights, and I bought it, and it came in kind of like a little plastic tube, and it has a little pump, and you pumped it out, and it's like a creamy kind of moisturizing formula. I didn't know what to do with it, and I kind of just dismissed it. This is the kind of new version of this, and basically the concept of these are you can mix them in with your moisturizer or your foundation. You can kind of dot them on the high points of your cheeks, and they're really, really lovely. I haven't got any on now, so I'm going to show you, but it just comes with this tiny little nozzle, and if I squeeze a little bit out, it's just a kind of skin coloured champagne type of shade, and it's just a very nice fluid liquid highlight that you can put on your skin. So I would normally do this with a brush, but I haven't got a brush right here, so I'm going to try and do it with my finger. And as you can see here, it's got a lovely kind of glow and sheen to it. And then if you just blend it into your skin, I'm kind of trying to use the viewfinder as a mirror, but I can't see that well. Blend that into your skin, and you're left with a kind of gorgeous sheen onto the high points of your face, and you can kind of put it on your cupid's bow and that kind of thing. And it's really lovely everyday type of product, because it really adds a little bit of luminosity to the face without being too much and without kind of being difficult. And if you've got quite dry skin, it's lovely and light to mix in with your moisturiser and get a really glowy, dewy complexion. So I really, really rate that. I think that's a fantastic product, and I wouldn't mind trying some more of the shades they do. I think they do a kind of pinky toned one as well. Then I'm going to move on to blush, and I have tried some of the cream blushes. I really like the little coral, I think it's called Coral Reef cream blush, but this is a coral one as well, and this is just one of their regular blushes in Coral Chic. And in fact, one of my first ever blushes was one that I saw a photo in a magazine of Katie Holmes wearing, and I thought it was a really nice colour, and I went out and bought it, and it's called Berry something, I think. But this is Coral Chic. Very pretty, nice coral colour. It's what I've got on my cheeks today. A great kind of, you know, dependable, just everyday staple products. You know, they're not the most kind of exciting and bright and that kind of thing, but they're just very nice, dependable, everyday colours, and that's what I love from a brand, because let's face it, I'm not the person to go and kind of wear the really bright, everyday, kind of majorly made up types of looks. Then this is a really interesting one, and this is one of their kind of little I think they call these something like the little links or something like that, and they're basically these little eyeshadow packages that you can kind of join together with other ones and kind of create your own customized little thing. But I have only ever tried this one, and it's very pretty. It's in the shade Oyster. I'm wearing it on my lid today, and it's a very, very pretty kind of easy shade, but it's kind of not the most creamy. It's got a little bit of glitter in there. It's a little bit chalky, as you can see there, but a very kind of nice, discreet shimmer to it. And it's nice because it's so tiny, you can just throw it in your bag if you didn't want to kind of make your own thing. But the liner that I'm wearing, moving on to eyes, is something that I do really want to talk about. And I have been really getting into wearing liquid liner lately. I'm not sure what it is. I've just kind of been really enjoying it and kind of gravitating towards it most days. I think it's just because I've got quite a lot of liners at the moment, and I've kind of been enjoying playing around with them. But this is the Revlon Colorstay Skinny Liquid Liner. This is what I am wearing on my lids right now, and it's really, really lovely. The first time I used it, I wasn't sure if I liked it, but the nib of this is very, very fine, so you can get a very kind of nice, precise point to it. It's a little bit flexible, so you have got kind of a little bit of room to move around with it, which is something that I like. I don't like a really stiff nib. That's what she said. And it's very easy to use. The formula is very wet, which is something that kind of makes it easier to work with, but at the same time, if you get it in your eye, it can sting a little bit and can be a bit difficult to work with, so that's something that's worth mentioning. But I would definitely give this a try. If you're on the market for any liquid liner, I do really like this, and if I've been wearing it a lot, then that is saying something, because I'm not a big liquid liner user. And then I'm gonna move on to talk about lip products, and I've got a bunch of kind of their classic lipsticks. So shall I do mascara first? Let's do mascara because that was eyes. Today I'm wearing the Revlon Bold Lacquer Grow Luscious Length and Volume Mascara. The packaging of this I think is so pretty, and I've kind of given you a close-up of my eyes loads already, but this is what it looks like on. It's a very natural, flirty, pretty mascara, and great if you don't kind of like the really clumpy lash look. But moving on to lipsticks, I've got kind of 3 here that are their classic range, and then they do a matte range, which I really love as well. But these are from their just regular classic range. The packaging I think is always really gorgeous and kind of a little bit Chanel-like. And I've got here Revlon Red, which is a very old school kind of Hollywood glamour red shade. I love this during the winter. And then another great winter one is Cherries in the Snow, which is just this beautiful kind of deep pink cherry colour. And I will swatch this because it's just too beautiful a shade. It's stunning in the winter time. And then I've got this one right here, which is Smoked Peach, which was one that I've wanted for a long time, and I kind of don't love this that much because I feel like it's not as matte as I'd like it to be, but it's definitely a very pretty shade. So they're their kind of regular lipsticks, I think, are really, really nice. But my favourite products from Revlon, and you will know this if you've watched my videos, are their kind of chubby stick dupes. The original ones came out, the Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stains, I loved those. Then the lacquer balms came out, I think at the same time as the matte balms, but the lacquer balms came out, and this one here is in the shade Demure. So they're just the glossy version. And then I got to try the matte ones, and I am obsessed with these. These are just amazing. I've done a full review about them, I love them that much. And this is in the shade Audacious. And it's just stunning. It's just this kind of bright, lovely orangey shade. Really, really beautiful. The texture, I haven't tried a single one of the Revlon matte balms that I don't like. There's shades that I won't necessarily wear, like the kind of deep purpley ones, but the textures of these are just beautiful. They feel amazing. Elusive is one of my all-time favourites, the kind of smoky pink, and they're just a beautiful, beautiful product that I can't recommend enough. They're kind of my star Revlon buy. I love, love, love these. And then last but not least, I've got one of their newer products, and this is what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and this is their Colorstay Moisture Stain. Love the packaging, I think it looks really cool. But these are unusual because they're supposed to kind of be like a glossy stain on the lips. One thing to note that's worth mentioning is that the colour in the tube is much brighter than how it will actually come out. So if I show you it on the applicator, you'll see it's actually a much kind of paler pink than it looks in here, and on the lips it's not as bright as that either. I'll put a little bit more on just to show you. I would be interested to try more colours of these to kind of be able to do more of a comparison, so let me know if you'd like to see that. But I definitely think they're kind of an unusual product. They're very nice if you suffer from quite dry lips, which I do quite a lot, and they just feel kind of very moisturising and comfortable, but they don't last that long. So that is it. That's my kind of brand overview of Revlon products. I hope you enjoyed this. I kind of wanted to be able to showcase different brands because I've done one for Clinique and I did one for Clarins last week, and I just feel like it's kind of a really nice way to introduce products into videos that kind of you can kind of get a feel for an entire brand. I didn't want these videos to feel like they were kind of an advert or anything like that, because obviously, like, you know, I'm being totally honest about my opinions about all the products, but I just wanted to kind of give you an option of this is what this brand does, and this is what I think they do well, this is what I think they do not as well, and that type of thing. But I would be interested to know your thoughts. I'd love to know if you'd be interested in me doing kind of a full face of a certain brand. So like I could do a full face of Revlon. I'm pretty much wearing a full face of Revlon today, but I could do like a full face tutorial of different brands, that kind of thing, like I did in the Clarins video. But I will leave that up to you, so let me know in the comments down below. I hope you all had a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in my next video.